Well, Buford, how long have you been with Alforex Seeds?
Good morning, Doug. I've been with Alforex since June of 2017. So here we are pushing on to 5 years.
And why did you decide to work for Alforex Seeds?
When I first interviewed, it really gave me the opportunity to see a small, nimble company, but yet under the guidance and the protection of a large corporation with all the resources that they had available to them.
Give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I grew up as a squid kid. My dad was 26 years in the Navy, so we bounced around, and I had the fortune to be able to see a lot of this great country and found out that I really loved the Pacific Northwest, and that's why I went to school at University of Idaho and graduated from there, actually in animal science. And so spent 23 years working in field sales in the feed industry. And then this opportunity with Alforex came about, and I jumped on it and took advantage of it, and have enjoyed the ride ever since.
So what is the territory or region that you cover?
I cover a chunk of the Pacific Northwest. I have Oregon, Washington, and the northern tip of Idaho, and that's where I reside, is in Northern Idaho.
So tell us a little bit about what is unique about your part of the country or territory.
I think everybody's part of the world is unique in its own right, but I think what our area has is such a diverse topography, between the timber grounds in the north to the high deserts of the Columbia Basin to eastern Oregon, and then you can jump over the Cascades and you are basically in a rainforest in the Olympic National Forest on the peninsula in Washington State. So we have a varied topography and environments that we get to deal with, both fun and challenging at the same time.
Well, just talking about that, what are some of the alfalfa pests or diseases that are specific to your territory that should be a concern for your alfalfa growers?
The big one that we seem to see a lot of is the stem nematode. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we typically follow potatoes in the rotation. We've also seen an uptick in the clover achilleo, but also some of the wilts from time to time, and the Phytophthora can certainly raise its head in certain areas.
As you're out there and you're talking with your customers and the growers that are growing alfalfa for you, what are some of the common questions that you get asked by the alfalfa growers?
We typically get asked about the stand longevity is one. Also, the biggest one that you hear over and over again is how does it yield? How does it yield? Obviously, our producers are paid on the truck weight, the tonnage heading out the door, and we have to be able to perform, but also provide a very good test, because their customers are demanding from the dairies or the feedlots or the beef yards. They're demanding of a high quality, but they also need the volume. That's what pays the bills.
Okay. So, talking about that, then what alfalfa varieties fit the growing territory best for you and why?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it depends. If we're out on the Palouse, the rolling hills, in a dryland situation, rugged, and hopefully the new rugged 2 that'll be coming out, is fitting the bill greatly. It's a very durable product. It performs well. It's got great stand longevity, and it still produces a high quality crop in those tougher environmental conditions, the marginalized ground. If we get into an irrigated set, we're looking at AFX 429, 469 for our high tons. And if we're looking at some of our dairies there in the Yakima Basin, Sunnyside, Grandview area, that we are looking at the Higest lineups, whether it's AFX 360 or 460, certainly fits the bill for it, just depending on what our desired outcome is.
Any advice that you can provide the alfalfa growers to help them be successful in your territory?
I'd say get with your rep and have a relationship that you trust, because a good rep's going to make sure that you're as profitable as possible, and is going to give you the right product for the conditions in your management to maximize the yields and the quality and minimize your inputs and your time to those fields.
Okay. And why should someone work with Buford Howell?
I really pride myself on the communication fact and staying in touch with my customers and making sure that they are taken care of. And I feel I have their best interest at heart. If they're successful, in turn, I'm going to be successful. And this is a long-term relationship that I hope to foster and continue. I enjoy being friends with my customers as well.